Blake Hutchison. I'm the CEO of Flippa.com. We are a marketplace to buy and sell businesses. And today it's my absolute pleasure to be joined by Raad. He's the CEO and co-founder of eBusiness Institute, which is a education and training service. And Matt, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks very much, Blake. Great to be here.
Now, I understand that you've been involved in the Flippa ecosystem for a very long time. Is that right?
Absolutely. My wife and I, Liz, we started, before Flippa even existed, we started originally on SitePoint, buying and selling websites.
Wow. Now, buying and selling websites sounds like a complex thing, and you guys specialize in helping people understand, I guess, what goes into that process. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. So, because our background is actually buying and selling bricks and mortar businesses, and in a multi-million-dollar level.
Okay.
And what we did years ago, we thought, well, we can do this a lot quicker with websites.
Fantastic.
And back then, we were thinking, well, how do you buy websites though? And so we're just self-taught. And basically we just do exactly the same process now as what we would do with a big bricks and mortar business.
Yep.
But we do it online, and we primarily use the Flippa platform because there's some really great deals there. And also that's where we tell all our students to start. We love website businesses. Well, with website businesses, particularly the kind that we buy, there's no stock, there's no real staff because we outsource, and the sorts of websites we're buying, we're basically just selling electrons, like they're advertising websites or affiliate sites. So we get to look at, we're constantly in the market to buy ourselves, plus also on behalf of our students, we help them with the due diligence, and we're teaching them the due diligence process. So it's great fun because we get to see thousands of deals each year. I think pretty much every day I'm looking at a website somewhere.
Fantastic. I think what's really exciting about Flippa is this constant stream of new businesses that you can take a look at.
Yep.
So you're saying that it's almost a daily occurrence where you're just browsing around and seeing what's out there?
Unless I'm out on holidays or something, but we can't help ourselves. We're on there all the time, and we'll often demonstrate it live too. When we run our live events, we love getting on the Flippa, and we do it totally unscripted because we're pretty much guaranteed of finding a really good deal.
Yep. And I think it's really interesting because now, because the online business ecosystem is so large and broad, you can actually find something that you're particularly passionate about. We've got businesses on there that are obviously representing the fashion industry. We've got businesses on there which are representing the manufacturing industry. We've obviously got lots of e-commerce businesses fulfilled by Amazon, blogs, affiliate websites. So what do you like? What do you personally like?
My absolute all-time favourite, and I know it sounds boring to most people, but it's where we start, it's where we made a lot of money, and that's through AdSense websites.
Yeah, right.
Because they're considered blue chip. They're basically the main thing that you do with them. Once you know what you're doing is you're just providing good content, and you just rely on the AdSense model. But also what we're seeing now is those AdSense sites, if they're in good niches, there's a lot of opportunity these days with big corporates, or actually small corporates as well, who want to direct advertise on there. So for us personally, we like sites that basically sell advertising space. Then the next level would be affiliate type sites. So sites where we promote a product and we get a commission if someone buys it. So again, we're not holding any stock or anything, and it's just pure affiliate.
How do you think about that a little bit? I've always found that really interesting. The idea that you're buying a site because you think it's a site where people want to buy advertising space on. So am I then assuming that the site's already coming with an audience?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, I should mention that. So when you start out, you're not going to get those sites with an audience as such, but what we teach is create one. So you need the thing we love doing is driving traffic to websites. So for us, that's what we're looking on Flippa. If we can find someone that's owned a website for years, say they were really passionate about it, but they've never worked out how to make money on it, but they've got a bit of an audience following, that's gold. That's what we want. Okay. And literally, once you know what you're doing, it doesn't matter what niche you're in. That's the cool thing. So for us, and it's amazing now, we look at our most successful clients as well, it just spins us out the niches that you end up in that you never in a million years thought you would be into. Like we've all got certain interests and stuff, and okay, it's fine to start out in your passion, but the reality is you don't need to. Once you know the system of how they work, it's just mind-boggling the sorts of niches that are out there. You go onto Flippa, you spend a couple of hours on Flippa, you'll see there's websites covering all sorts of topics.
So give us an example then. So you bought all these sites off Flippa over 10 years. Give us one that sort of pops into your mind that has been, I guess, a surprise to you, potentially in a vertical you didn't necessarily know a lot about, and then we're able to sort of look at, interrogate, and build something off it.
Well, from very competitive niches like the car market, I never thought I would get into that space. So we've got a friend who's very successful in that space, and we followed his journey over the years, and it's incredibly competitive, but we were able to get into a website on Flippa that was in the car space, which was very lucrative for us. It did very well. But then down to things like reviews of gas cookers, outdoor gas cookers in America. I'm from Queensland, Australia, where we don't even have the need for heaters and outdoor heaters, and here we are running a website all about outdoor heaters and stuff like that. So it's just bizarre. The classics is pet training or certain animal-based niches. So our background is we're actually zoologists, believe it or not.
Amazing.
So we do tend to gravitate from
zoologists to buying, selling websites.
So we do, kind of as a joke, like looking at websites on Flippa that involve anything to do with animals and stuff.
Right.
You can actually make money out of them. There's like bird cages or cats, certain cat size, but the classic is anything with dog training and things like that. It can work really well.
So if it's something to do with dog training, will that typically be a content website?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because there's lots of affiliate products in the dog training space, but what's also happened, which is really good now, is those sorts of websites too, we can become affiliates for Amazon type products. So say it's a dog training website that sells an ebook on dog training, standard $37 ebook. Well, you make a little bit of money out of that, but what you can also promote is, hey, if you want to keep your dog healthy, why don't you try these awesome vitamins? It's got to be legit, like you've got to, they've got to be good products. But then if they're a good selling item on Amazon, or dog beds or something like that, or dog training collars, whatever. So there's a lot of leeway with content websites these days, and it's very easy to put in a bit of Amazon. So what's changed for us over the years is we've always traditionally loved AdSense, but I think over the last, probably as Amazon's become more aggressive now, I don't know if that's the right word to use, but they're very successful.
I think it is.
in the e-commerce space. We've never gone down the e-commerce side, but what we've found is we can now start adding extra monetization to the website with Amazon affiliate products in a related way.
So just for those new to that concept of Amazon and Amazon FBA, and this concept of affiliate revenue at a very, very basic level, what is an Amazon FBA store for all of those out there who are new to that environment?
So Amazon FBA is fulfilled by Amazon, and basically that's where you're selling physical product via Amazon. We don't get involved in that. It's very successful. It's a really good model, and we know there's lots of really good websites for sale on Flippa that have been very successful and set up, and we've come like this close to buying a few several times. But our preference is to say we have, let's use dog training website for example. Just say we've got a dog training website that talks about how you train your dog. But what we like to do is add in Amazon affiliate model, which is we might do a review of, say, a really nice dog bed, and say, hey, we found these 5 dog beds work really well because when you're dog training German Shepherds, German Shepherd normally crushes them, you need a really good quality one. Here's a really good quality one, and by the way, if you're interested in it, you can go off to Amazon and buy it. And basically if someone clicks on that link, they're cookied, and they're cookied for 24 hours. So whatever they buy on Amazon, we get an affiliate commission of.
Fantastic.
Anywhere from 4% to 8%.
So that's really interesting insight, and thank you so much for providing that insight to the community. I think it's amazing. You've got on one side people who are interested in actually getting into the commerce space, and being the retailer and using Amazon for that purpose. And on the other side, such as the dynamic nature of the Amazon business model, you can literally just send people away and still make money.
So, because I guess the reason why Liz and I love that personally, we are biased. We come from a manufacturing background and wholesale distribution. So we've never really, even when we own bricks and mortar businesses, we never dealt at a retail level. We always were sending out mass. So when we're online, we're trying to do that as well, I guess.
Flippa is essentially enabling you to create a profession in the online business space, and in a vertical which you didn't necessarily know much about, because you're using this ecosystem of dynamic companies out there like Amazon, and it's really impressive and it's really interesting. I think what is particularly cool, you said before, you're not necessarily interested in brick and mortar businesses. You're interested in online businesses. And I think what's really interesting about that is I can be based anywhere around the world. I can buy a business which is also based anywhere around the world, not necessarily where I am based, and I can still thrive in that environment.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Perfect. And that's why we did it. That's why we got online, for that freedom. So we got online because we had kids, and Liz, my wife, she wanted to work from home, and so did I. And we wanted that freedom. We wanted to be able to live wherever we can around the world. And a lot of our students have exactly the same desire as well. Or they can, the great thing about Flippa is you can get on there and start to learn this and learn how to build up basically a side income in addition. So you don't throw in your job, but you can just learn this in the evenings, because these websites, but a lot of people don't realize, when we start talking about websites, people still thinking, oh, you got to turn up and do stuff on them. No, you don't. You can buy a couple of sites off Flippa, even if you do nothing with them. You should do nothing with them, but even if you did nothing with them for a good 6 months, it really doesn't matter. You can just come back. But that's an extreme example, but realistically, you can easily buy sites and start to build them up we call it in a gentle way in the evenings, when you've got a bit of spare time, once a week, once a month, do a little bit of work, learn how it all works. Like this young girl who's bought this trampoline site, she knows nothing about trampolines, she knew nothing about websites, and now all of a sudden she's got this business that's ticking over. Her mum's so proud of her. She's done really well.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Now, I know you're obviously biased, I've got you here in the Flippa offices, but trust.
Absolutely, it's huge.
Jump on Flippa, there's a lot there. It could be overwhelming. Do you have faith in the platform and the ability to find what you want?
Oh, we do, absolutely. Because we're so experienced and we live and breathe this, and we can, for us personally, it's a no-brainer. It's really easy to go onto the Flippa platform and very quickly find what we want. And what we like about the Flippa platform, and why we recommend it, especially to beginners, is there's a degree of safety. So at the end of the day, you are buying a website. It is a business. It's not some pretty online brochure or anything like that. You are actually buying a working business, even if it's $300. So there's always a risk in a business. But at the end of the day, buying on the Flippa platform for beginners is brilliant, because it's what we call a paper trail, virtual paper trail. And Flippa also has this really cool function now called escrow service. It used to, in the good old days when we started, we had to go to a service called escrow.com, and they charge a massive commission. So we couldn't recommend it to our beginners. But now for people starting out, and get on Flippa, buy a simple site under $300. If you mess it up, it's not the end of the world, because it's under $300. But it's a great spot to learn, and there is this paper trail. If you run into a problem, you can at least work with the Flippa team. There's recourse there. Also, what we find is if you're buying websites off the good sellers on Flippa, they're very keen to maintain their good standing with Flippa. So once you do want to step it up, so what we teach is start out at 300, learn the ropes, and then as you get more confident, you start adding zeros. You might go to $1,000 type websites, and you go 3,000, 5,000, and as you step it up, you're dealing with different kinds of sellers who really want to maintain that, the good standing within Flippa. So there is a degree of safety there, but it's not 100% safe. You've still got to learn how to do your due diligence. You've got to know the sorts of questions to ask, and you've got to know what you're doing. That's why, of course, I'm going to say this, but you need to get educated before you get on there, or at the very least, just start at a small level and learn the ropes.
Yeah, and certainly Flippa's in the business of facilitating a marketplace, which we believe helps buyers, helps sellers. And so we'll continue to invest in features which make that process easier and easier. Matt and Liz, Raad.com. Well, thank you, Matt. It's been fantastic to hear from you today. This is the very first in a long-running influencer series that Flippa will be bringing to you each week. And today it's been really insightful. Thank you, Matt.